Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. We are getting ready to go live. There we go. We got it. Okay, guys. I'm going to make a sponge cake today. I'm not going to decorate it because I am trying to get stuff ready for Easter, and I want to make this for Easter. So if y'all want to follow along with me, hello everybody. Hi TikTok Grandma. Hi Tammy. Hi Joe. So we're gonna make a kind of simple sponge cake is what we're gonna do. I have pretty much everything ready. I'm just gonna grab a bowl so we can mix up this, and then I'm gonna need 2 bowls. So I'm gonna put this one aside. So everything you mix by hand. Sorry guys, I went to the store this morning and I was like, oh, I'm out of eggs. I need to get eggs. When you know, I go in there and I get my eggs and I come home and I have no powdered sugar. Of course. So what do you do when you have none? You make it. So you just put sugar in a Ninja or anything that speeds up, a Cuisinart, anything like this. You just pour sugar in it and let it go for probably 7-8 minutes, and voila, you got powdered sugar, y'all. So I was like, I am not running back to the store, so I'll just make some. So I let it go for about 7 minutes, and that was it. So you want to set your oven at 350. Oh, no, sorry, 320. And this sponge is going to bake for like 20 minutes. Hi, Tanya Lee. How are you? Hey, Tina. Hey, Thomas. Hey, Butterfly. Hey, Cookie Lion. Hey, Deborah. Hi, Jesse. Hi, Brown. So in our first bowl, we're going to make the little sponge decoration that I'm going to put down. Hi, Maggie. Hi, Mimi. So the first couple ingredients, you're going to need 4 3/4 teaspoons of powdered sugar. I had to make powdered sugar. Then you're going to need 1 egg white, which is about 2.5 teaspoons of egg white. If you have egg whites in a carton, that's what you're going to need for this little bitty thing. So 2.5 teaspoons of egg whites. Hi Ida, hi Merlin, hi Kim. Then you're going to need 2.5 teaspoons of softened butter, y'all. Softened butter. So I just melted it and I let it sit to where it got cool. And I'm going to put that in there. Somebody asked me about these bowls yesterday. They're from Costco. You get 9 of them and they were $10. Love them. Hi Karen. Hi Barry. Okay. So that's the powdered sugar, the egg white, the softened butter. And then you're going to need 4 3/4 teaspoons of flour, you guys. 4 3/4 teaspoons of flour. And that's it. And you're going to stir this up. You're going to stir this up. I know it doesn't look like much, and it's not supposed to look like much. So we're just going to keep stirring this up until we get like this. And I really think I need a little bit of extra flour, so I'm going to grab just a pinch. Just a pinch. Just a pinch. I want it a little bit thicker. Okay, so it should kind of look like that. Make sure you've got no lumps, guys. You don't want any lumps. Let me get my smaller whisk. I don't want any lumps, and there's a couple lumps in here, so I want to get the lumps out. Okay, and then I'm gonna make like a, I'm gonna take some of this out and put it in one of these bowls, and we're gonna dye a little bit of it green for leaves, and this part's going to be orange for carrots. So I have my orange. Hi Jill. Hi Angie. So I have my orange. I'm just going to put some in here. And we're going to get it all off of this skewer. And then I'm going to get a different spoon and stir this up. And then I'm going to poke the other side into my green. Hi, Donna. Hi, everybody. We're making a sponge cake. And I'm going to do like little carrots and then roll it up. And then the day before, so we're having Easter on Saturday. So the day before Easter, well, which would be Friday, I'm going to get all my prepping done on stuff that I need to make, and then the day before I will come back on and I will finish all the products with you guys online. All right, let me get rid of this and get some spoons. We have this local ice cream shop here, and when you go there, they give you these spoons with your ice cream, and we save them, and I'll tell you what, they are the best. The best little spoons. My husband laughs at me every time we go there. I always say, nope. He always says, you want to get a cone? And I always say, nope, I'm getting something so I can get a spoon. I must have 20 of them. But you know what? When I do cookies and that, sugar cookies, I use every one of them. So I do. Okay. I think flour. I'm going to add a little bit more. Just because I think it's a little thin. And I don't want to keep taking it out of my other one over here. So I'll just let that sit. Get this stirred up. That's better. I think when you make a sponge cake, it depends on your weather, really, outside. So I could tell that it was loose to me. So that's why I'm adding more flour, only because I made this before and I could tell it was loose, and I don't want it loose, guys. Hi, Marketing Diva. Hi, Carolyn. Okay, so next we're going to push this stuff aside, and I'm going to bring my pan over. So I have a half sheet pan here, and I'm just going to pipe on some carrots. I was going to do eggs, but then I'd have to dye a lot of this first stuff. So the thing is with this, you're going to pipe, and then I'm going to put this in the freezer while we're mixing up the cake batter. Then we'll pull this, when the cake batter's done, we're going to pull this out of the freezer, pour the sponge on top of it, and bake it. Hi, Robin. Hi, Patricia. Hi, Melanie. Hi, Jeanette. And then when you roll it up, your carrots will be on the outside. And I don't know what color I want to dye the sponge. Anybody got suggestions? Light yellow, light pink. Anybody got suggestions? Hi, Kevin. Hi, Laura. Hi, Dawn. I am a mess. Suggestions for the color of sponge. We're going to have carrots on the pan. We're going to pipe some carrots, y'all. So what color should I do the sponge? Hi, Mimi. Okay, I'm just going to make a paper tube. Hi, Dad. I'm just making a paper tube, y'all. And I'm going to put my, cake batter type thing in this tube. Anybody got suggestions on the color of the sponge? Give them a shout out. Hey guys, we're making a sponge cake today, but first we gotta pipe carrots. Now, you can draw your carrots on here. I'm gonna wing it. I'm just gonna wing it, and if I mess it up, I'll scoop it off. Hi Kayla, hi Sharon. So I'm just gonna cut a small hole and I'm just gonna pipe me some carrots. Well, that one don't look so hot, but that's okay. Pipe some carrots, guys. I'm just piping some carrots. If you make this cake, you can do whatever you want to. I just choose to do this. And on the inside of this, when I do it on Friday to get it all ready, because we're doing Easter on Saturday, I will be, hi Andre, now we're going to go this way. Oops. I want to make sure I use this all up. I don't want to leave any behind, guys. So we're going to use this all up. So we're going to have carrots going both ways, basically. Oops. That one doesn't really look like a carrot, but it'll be okay. All right. Then we're going to take the green. Hello, JoJo. Hello, Patricia. So as soon as I get the green done, we're going to put it in the freezer for like 10 minutes while I'm mixing up the cake so it gets frozen. Okay, so for this, to get like a leaf tip, I am just going to cut, I don't know if I can show you guys. I'm going to cut a little bitty tiny V on my bag. Let me pull the tip out and I will show you. Can you see that? Just a little bitty V. Little bitty V there. See it there? That's all you got. So that's going to make your leaf, guys. That's going to make your leaf. So let's do these ones first. and just pull it out. Start wide and then give it a pull. Start wide and give it a pull. That's all you're doing. Start wide and give it a pull. Now, I have a drip there and I have a drip here, so I'm going to go back and take that off because I do not want drips. I mean, this is for us, so if I was doing this for an order, it definitely would look a little different. I would have spent the time and maybe eggs probably, but this is fine. So my inside of this is going to be chocolate, y'all. A chocolate like mousse type thing. And there's your carrots. Now, I'm going to wipe that off. If there's any long tails that I don't like, I'm going to go back and I'm going to take them off. And there are a few, so I'm just going to get rid of them with my fingers. Because you definitely want it to kind of look like a leaf. All right, guys, I think that's good. So now this is going to go in the freezer for 15 minutes. Hi, Star. Hi, Dominique. Hi, Jax. Hi, Tracy. Hi, David. So this is going to go in the freezer. Oh, I see another towel. Let's get rid of it. Okay. That's that for that part. Now we're going to make the cake part. Let me get rid of this. Get rid of this. So the cake part. Hello, Kelly. Hi, Dawn. Hi, Nicole. Hi, Raph. Hi, Pyramid. Okay. So on the cake part, we're going to stir all this by hand until we get to the egg whites, guys, okay? So we need 5 egg yolks. I have everything ready. So here's the 5 egg yolks. Those are going in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1/4 of a cup plus 1 teaspoon of oil. Right here. Going in. Going in, going in. Anybody got suggestions on the color of the sponge? If so, give it to me and I'll put it in there. We could do, well, if you have carrots, you could do, yellow, a light yellow. You were my first one, Melanie, so that's what we're doing. Maybe a light yellow? Okay. Okay, so 1/4 of a cup plus 1 teaspoon of oil, 5 egg yolks, 1/3 of a cup of milk. There's the milk. There's the milk. 3/4 cups of flour, y'all. 3/4 cups of flour going in. And a teaspoon of vanilla. And we're going to give it a little extra for goodness, like we always do. Homemade vanilla, the best. We'll probably make this in, December, and it'll be ready for December, okay? All right. That's it, and we're going to stir this up. Now, you want to stir this really good. You do not want any lumps in this, guys. No lumps. Try to get no lumps. Just keep stirring until all the lumps are out of it. It's going to be a little thick because those egg yolks make this batter really thick. But just keep stirring it until you get all, and I mean all, of the lumps out of there. You don't want any lumps because this is a sponge. Okay, and Melanie said light, well, she said yellow, but we're going to do a light yellow. A very light yellow we're going to do. We might have to put another drop in whenever we incorporate our egg whites. It's going to be hard to see when I got it in a yellow bowl. Okay. And we will probably, I don't know if I should add it now or to my egg whites. I think we'll add it to this. I don't think I want to put it in my egg whites. Hi guys, we're making a sponge cake. A sponge cake. Okay, that's good. Can you guys see how thick this is? So this is how thick this is. That's why I said you want to get it really stirred up. Hi Joe, hi Christine, hi Data Creek. Just keep getting it stirred. You want to make sure all your lumps are out. Okay. Now, this takes 20 minutes to bake. I'm not going to stay on here today while it bakes, guys, because that's just a long time to hold you guys on here forever. But I will definitely, hi Gigi Lisa, I will definitely post the recipe, and I will post a picture of the log so you can see the carrots on the outside when it's done baking today. So when it's done baking, you're going to need a long piece of parchment. Hi Kay, you're going to have a long piece of parchment, and you're going to roll it from the thin side, the shorter side. You're going to roll it into parchment. Once you roll it into parchment, you'll also roll it, I also roll them in a tea towel. So I'll lay the parchment on the bottom, I'll lay the tea towel on the top of it, and then I'm going to roll it. And I'm going to put it in the refrigerator and let it cool off. And then later tonight, I will take a picture of it. I'll unroll it and take a picture of it, and then it's going in the freezer, and it'll stay there until I need it on Friday. Friday, I'll get back on, and I will do all my finished products on Friday. Hi, Misty Dawn. Okay. So, now we're going to go over to my mixer, and we are going to do 5 egg whites, and 2/3 cup of powdered sugar. But we're going to start the egg whites and let them get to a soft peak, and then I'm going to start putting in the powdered sugar. So we're going to do that. So in this bowl here, I got 5 egg whites. Let me turn you guys. I got 5 egg whites, and you want your whisk on your mixer. You want the whisk. If you have a hand mixer, you can do the same thing. Okay, in they go. I used 8 of these bowls today. It came with 9. Look guys, I used 8 of them. Oh no, I used 9. There's one over there. Okay, so we're going to let that go until it's, I'm going to kick it up to high, and as soon as it starts to form the peaks, once it forms the peaks, we're going to fold those egg whites into this. And then we're going to put this, we're going to pull the cake back out of the freezer, and then this goes on top of the cake. I'll stir this some more while that's. So when you make it and it's really thick like this, that means it's good. Hi Mary Joseph, hi J9. Hi May Flakes, hi Paul, hi J9. So if it's like this thick, that's the way you want it. When your egg whites come to a little bit of a soft peak, that's when you start with your powdered sugar, guys. And it's 2/3 of a cup of powdered sugar. sure you get it all in there, guys. Make sure you get it all in there. And then if you use your mixing bowl, and you turn it upside down and nothing comes out, it's ready to use. We're almost there. I'm going to get a big spatula so I can fold those in. And clear this. Make sure you get all your cake batter off. Okay guys, let's see. If it does that, you're good to go, okay? If you can go like this and nothing comes out, you're good to go. See that? Okay. So now we're going to start. Let's get this off. Okay. Hello, everybody. So we're going to start. We're going to start incorporating this meringue into the cake. And you're just going to fold it, guys. You're just going to fold it. You want to keep your meringue a meringue. So you don't want to fold it too many times. But you got to get it incorporated for sure. Okay, so here we go. Don't beat it. Lightly fold, guys, lightly fold. This is a sponge cake, not like a regular cake. So you just want to fold this meringue into your cake mix. Okay? Just keep bringing it up from the bottom. Just keep bringing it up, pulling it up. Now, your cake is going to look glossy. If your cake looks glossy, you're going to have one heck of a good sponge, okay? And this cake looks really glossy. So, I'm going to show you. See how glossy that looks? Can you guys see it? The light's probably, I don't know. Does that help? So, if your sponge is glossy like that, it's going to be a perfect sponge, okay? I'm going to taste it. Yum, yum. Okay, guys. I can. All right, let me get the other one. Here's the carrots. They are frozen. They are frozen. So now, you're going to put this on top of this. Okay, guys? I'm going to give it one more stir, one more flip, and here we go. Beautiful sponge. We have a beautiful sponge. I can hear my son and my husband doing yard work. Today's a yard work kind of day. And you're going to take a little bow knife. Hello, everybody. Hi, Cindy. And you're going to start spreading this out, okay, guys? Just start spreading it out. It's a beautiful light yellow. Thank you, Melanie, for the suggestion of light yellow. It's going to look beautiful on the Easter table, for sure. Now, listen, guys. You do not need spray or anything of that because this is a sponge. That's why you have parchment paper down. Try to get this as level as you can. As level as you can. And then it's going to go in the oven on 320 for 20 minutes. Now I'm going to set her for 15 and start watching her because I have an electric oven and sometimes my oven can be a little pain in the neck. I wanted to say something else, but I don't want to get slapped, so on TikTok for saying a bad word. Anyhow, no bad words. So try to get this as level as y'all can because when you're rolling it, you kind of want your sponge to be all the same level, okay? If you've never had a sponge cake before, they're almost like a pumpkin log cake, but these are sponges. So anyhow, there it is, and she's going to go in the oven. I'm going to set her for 15 minutes and take a peek at her. Alexa, set the timer for 15 minutes.
15 minutes, starting now.
Okay, guys. So I'm going to go back over this with you, okay? For your decorations. Now, you don't have to do the decorations. That is just... I don't know if anybody was on here when I made it for Valentine's Day. You can put whatever you want. I've done birthday candles. You can do whatever you want. Hi, Shirley. Hi, Lise. Hi, user 42570297444. Hi, Brenda. Hi, Vixen. Hi, Sweet Pie. Hi, Buzz. So, anyway, you do not have to do the first part if you don't want. If you just want a sponge cake, you can do the sponge cake. I like the little decorations on the top. That's my preference. Okay, so I'm going to read you the whole thing. The first part is 4 3/4 teaspoon of powdered sugar, 2.5 teaspoons of egg whites, and if you have large eggs, that's one egg. Okay. 4 3/4 teaspoon of flour. Now, it's very hot here today. If it's cool, it might be perfect. I added a couple pinches of flour because it felt a little runny to me, okay? Then you're going to pipe your decoration. I did hearts at Valentine's Day, and today we did carrots. So, will you put the recipe on your page? Absolutely. You're going to pipe whatever you want. Pipe it, put it in the freezer. While it don't have to be in there very long, just while you're mixing up the cake, guys. Just while you're mixing up the cake. And then the cake part is 5 egg yolks, and you're going to need 5 egg whites. So separate those and save all of it, okay? So 5 egg yolks, 1/4 cup plus 1 teaspoon of oil, 1/3 cup of milk, 3/4 cups of flour, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Mix it all by hand. Mix it all by hand. Everything is by hand until you get to the egg whites, okay? Get that all mixed up. If you want to put a color in it, I would suggest using the gel ones. They have it in this, and they have gel in this, okay? Add your food coloring. Mix it all up. Then go to a mixer. I use my KitchenAid. You're going to take your 5 egg yolks and start whipping them. When it comes almost to where it's starting to form as a soft peak, you start putting in 2/3 cup of powdered sugar. Now, and that's it. And then you gently fold in those egg whites into that cake. And like I said, if it's glossy, you're going to have one heck of a good sponge, okay, guys? And you're going to bake it at 320 for 20 minutes. I started mine it for 15 minutes, okay? Once you make one, you'll see how easy it is, and then you'll say, oh gosh, I can just whip that up in no time. They're very simple to do. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Diane. Hi, Valerie. Hi, Bryn. Hi, Margot. So anyway, you bake it 320 for 20 minutes. I'm going to go for 15 because of my oven. If it's not done in 15, I will give it an extra 5 minutes. And so that's it. That's it, guys. And I'm going to let this thing bake. I will post the recipe and this video back on to my page on TikTok and on Facebook. I will post both recipes, and I'm going to post a picture of the cake. And then I will get back on Friday, whatever I do all this week. On Friday, I am going to finish off everything. I have cheese balls. So Friday when I'm on here, I'm probably going to be on a while because I have cheese balls to make. I have pies to make, and I will make my pies in the morning. And I'm trying to talk my husband into making his famous cinnamon rolls. So that recipe will not be on here because he doesn't share that recipe, but I will definitely, hi Sunshine, hi Callie, I definitely will show them to you. And whatever else I decide to make for Easter, I will be doing that on Friday. So I will be on here for a long time on Friday, for sure, because I have a lot of stuff that I need to get done. And the inside of this sponge is going to be a chocolate. I have a couple grandkids that love chocolate. So the inside of this sponge, carrot, Easter roll cake, will have chocolate. And then I am going to go, they have edible grass. I don't know if you guys ever seen it. It's wonderful. So I'm going to get some, hi Tanya. I'm going to get some edible grass and put around the outside and put some jelly beans and some chocolate eggs and whatever else I can decide to put on there. And so yeah, that's what I'm going to do with it. So I will post a picture of it naked until Friday, and I'll post the rest. I'll put the recipe back on my page, and hopefully you guys will make it. I think you'll like it. They are very tasty. If you don't want to do the decoration on the bottom to where it shows, now you can buy. I have done this. You can take a coloring page and lay it underneath your parchment and draw around with the top stuff if you want to do that. Whatever you want. I love Winnie the Pooh, and I'll tell you what, he's adorable when you do that. But anyhow, so you can do many different things. And then when you flip it over, or posies, flowers, birds, butterflies, whatever you guys want to do. And it will sure make your table look fabulous, for sure. So anyway, guys, I'm going to jump off here. I'm going to let this cake cook, and I'll take a picture. I'll post this, and I'll post my recipe. Thank you guys for being on here with me. Like, follow, and share, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye. Bye, guys. Only 2,000. That's all right. That's okay. Bye, guys.